here's my take on the current state of affairs in the recruiting world, is that when you look at the 2023 rankings from 24/7 Sports, the composite rankings that take everything into account, there are two programs to account for 7 of the 12 commitments thus far from the 5-star prospects. There are a total of 21 players that are given the 5-star label by 24/7 Sports in the 2023 class, which is not some exceptional class, but needless to say, there are 21 5-star prospects. Duke and Kentucky have compiled 7 of the 12 commitments from 5-star prospects. No other program has more than one commitment. The point, whether it's before NIL or after NIL or in our current era of college basketball that's ever changing, Kentucky and Duke have only gotten richer. And John Calipari is a dangerous, dangerous man on the recruiting pathway right now.
How much does it matter? No, seriously, how much does it matter? Look at the teams that have won the recent national titles, right? Baylor in 2021 did it with a bunch of older guys. Kansas in 2022 did it with a bunch of older guys. In 2020, Kansas was the overwhelming favorite. They had a senior at center and Udoka Azubuike, who could have ended up being the national player of the year that season. In 2019, it was Virginia, a bunch of older guys. 2018, it was Villanova, a bunch of older guys. 2017, North Carolina, a bunch of older guys. 2016, again, Villanova, a bunch of older guys. You have to go all the way back to 2015 to find a roster that had majority freshmen in the starting lineup, right, for Duke in 2015. Before that, it was Kentucky in 2012. And that was when you had guys like Jahlil Okafor and Tyus Jones and Anthony Davis and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist who were enrolling. No one in the 2023 class is going to be anywhere near as good as those guys. No one in the 2022 class, I believe, is going to be anywhere near as good as those guys. So how much does it matter, T.O.?
I think with the transfer portal and over the next 2 years, it's not going to matter as much. And I love your point about Bill Self saying the top 75 guys that stay for 2 or 3 years. That's what it comes down to right now. That's what college basketball is. And then you can pepper it in with a fifth-year COVID senior that'll come in and get his master's degree and sets the culture. Like that's what Calipari did whenever he had his championship teams. He had really good talent that was young, but then he also had some vets that kind of kept everybody in line. That's how much it matters, as long as you have pieces around them. We said it at the beginning of last season. Talent wins big time stuff, but it's the veteran teams that'll kind of keep you on track for a while. You got to have those pieces, at least to set yourself up for a favorable tournament run. I think that's the biggest thing. Once your young guys learn how to play, those are the guys that are going to change the game for you, except when you look at like a Kansas, for example. But to go along with what you're saying, Rob, that top 75, the outside the top 15, that's where you're going to make your money if you're a college coach.
Sure, and this goes back to the high variance degree in the month of March. But what there's no variance degree in is the fact that you look at the track record of past national champions, the rundown that you just gave, and that is at the forefront of our minds of the division of what makes you successful in terms of if you're in the national championship conversation, what separates you from everybody else versus, well, are you really going to shy away from the best talent in a high school class? You're not going to, in the cases of John Shire, John Calipari, and in the cases of a TJ Otzelberger, who just locked up the highest ranked commit in the history of Iowa State basketball since recruiting services were ranking players, that dates back to 1999. You're not going to shy away. You're not going to shy away from being able to have access to that talent. I think it matters. But is it the most important detail when it comes to being on top of the sport? In 2022, the answer to that question is no, but I don't think that you're going to suddenly not take in that talent Because if I have the opportunity to get the next Paolo Banchero or to get access to Zion Williamson, Duke and Kentucky are going to be at the front of the line. I'm not going to be able to get into that Delhi line. So I think it's a mixed blend. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but no longer is it the foregone conclusion to what success is in college basketball.
Well, we also need to determine what success is, because Duke made it with all those young players to the Final Four. So like we need, like if it's national championship or bust, I'm not sure how much it really matters. If it's making it too deep into the tournament, second weekend, Final Four, it does matter, because people have proven consistently that you're at least getting to the second round or to the second weekend. I think that's a big thing. So what we determine as success, if you're going for national championships, you need older guys. You want to get to the second weekend, which is completely plausible for all these 5-star kids going in and winning 2 games and then moving on to the next weekend. If that's your version of success, then it completely matters. But it's just a matter of what you determine that to be. And with Duke and Kentucky, you want to win national championships. So
unfortunately,
it's
unfortunately
hard
for Kentucky's case, and it stinks because 2020, we don't know what would have happened for anybody. But for the fans in Lexington, 2019 feels like a long time ago. My point being, look, it's been a while. It's been as long as ever to Kentucky fans that they've made a March run.
Mm-hmm. And there's something to be said about whether or not there is now some pressure on John Calipari to start winning, right? There was a while where it felt like he was making Final Fours every single year, but I think that other teams have kind of caught up to this idea of stacking your roster with talent.